Well, hello, folks. Yeah, the shit's hitting the fan, but most people don't smell it because they're so accustomed to smelling the bullshit that comes from Western leaders all the time for decades that they can't smell it. They're living in a cesspool of sickness and mad faith in bullshit. And they don't know the smell of it because they're too far removed from it. They don't smell the death, the stench of the lies. And most of us can maintain and nurse and our addictions anyway, so we don't have to worry too much. We're pretty comfy. So I was generating a report using Google and trying to write some prompts and edit this thing. But basically, the premise or the thesis or the idea behind it is that the U.S. hegemon is addicted to perpetual war. Much has been written. I going through this, looking at people that I've read, like Naomi Klein and popular people like that, and everybody knows Noam Chomsky and Chalmers Johnson. I don't know if you know who he is. Chalmers Johnson, he is an American political scientist specializing in comparative politics, professor emeritus at University of California, San Diego. He served in the Korean War, was a consultant for the CIA from 67 to 73, chaired the Center for Chinese Studies at the University of California, Berkeley. He was also president and co-founder of Stephen Clemens of the Japan Policy Research Institute. The man's a superstar. He knows his shit. He's been around. And he's written a lot of good books. American Empire, Cold Warrior, The Last Days of the American Republic. His books are great, and I've read a number of them. Blowback, Nemesis, The Last Days of the American Republic, MITI and the Japanese Miracle. He's just written Revolutionary Change, Dismantling the Empire, America's Last Best Hope. Yeah, so he's good. And then the American Empire Project is a blog that's got some good resources and stuff, books there I've read as well. One which is profound is called Kill Anything That Moves by Nick Turse. There's so much out there, but people don't pay attention to it, right? So we just get involved in watching the news and listening to the propaganda, and 90% of it is propaganda, PR, and marketing. It's just utter bullshit. The players want to do what they want to do. Another great. There's just so many good people to refer to. People don't listen to people like Brian Berlitic because he's critical of the U.S. empire, so they hate him. But he does good work, and he was talking about this report, the continuing need for a U.S. opening to Iran by the Heritage Foundation, which lays out the whole strategy of what's going on with Israel and Iran right now. So U.S. likes to use proxies, and it wants to go in. If it can't bomb poor people, fairly defenseless countries like Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, and others, Central America over the years. The whole history of the United States is just one intervention after another. It's coercive. It's a protection racket, like Schmedley's book, War is a Racket. It's just so ugly, and so much violence is committed. In the meantime, we're really heading towards climate catastrophe. The polycrisis is a thing, everything's accelerating. We're going to hit 3C above the pre-industrial baseline within decades, I think. In the meantime, every year that passes by gets worse. It's not like you flip a switch. It's just like you look at these storms in the United States, you look at these wars, you listen to the rhetoric of U.S. lawmakers and administrations. It doesn't matter, Democratic or Republican. It's so idiotic to think that your party is going to make a difference. They're all the same type of people. So in this report, I'm talking about neoconservatism, neoliberalism, Christian Zionism, all the things I've talked about for years and have been reading about for years. And basically, the U.S. has a scorched earth foreign policy. William Tecumseh Sherman, or going back to the Roman Empire, or the Mongol hordes, whatever you want to point to, just wrecking everything to ensure that no enemy can survive or stand up to the hegemonic power. And this history goes back thousands of years. It's nothing new. If you study history, you've noticed that, for 10,000 years, since the dawn of civilization, we've had this going on, and we've been damaging the ecosystem for thousands of years. We've been wiping out species of plants and animals for thousands of years. Everything's accelerating now. And some people want you to believe that technology and science is going to fix it. I love technology and science, but I want it to be used in service of life, not in the service of freaking capitalists and the kinds of assholes and jerks and lunatics that lead the world right now, whether it's a corporation or a bank or a think tank or a government. They're all just twisted freaks, and they're so indoctrinated. They're such true believers in their bullshit that they really can't see beyond it. The people who can see beyond it and understand how the world works publish frantically year after year, day after day, and people read it, but most of us are just not aware of these perspectives, and we don't have a detailed understanding of how things work, so we just kind of go along with it, and we're trained to chant USA, USA at the ball game, and that, makes us proud proud and cool. In the meantime, we're killing each other because we don't like libs, or we don't like MAGA people, or we don't like this or that or the other thing. And every time we point fingers, there's four fingers pointing back at us. Every time we accuse somebody of something, it's a confession. And it's disgusting. And it's tragic, because this is not going to end. I wish people wanted to have an operational mindset, get together in their local communities and do whatever they can to develop something new, a new approach, and to push back against the oligarchs and the global corporations and say, look, we have to do something else. Overshoot is a thing. Ecocide is a thing. And but we don't want to do that. We're just powerless. We're domesticated. We're well-trained little pets. And we're just going to hang around until we start starving to death. And I read a couple of new climate papers that put things in a broader context, including an economic context and so on, about climate. And it's just accelerating. We're not doing anything about it, nothing. All we're doing, every day you wake up in the morning and you hear about the missiles and the wars, and we have to fight China, and the war on drugs, the war on terror. The greatest terrorist state in the world is the United States of America. It breaks my heart to have to say it. And it's tragic that more Americans don't understand that. You can go and protest if you want, but it's not going to change anything. Has it ever really? I mean, yes, you do have a civil rights movement and it does do something. You have suffragettes and it does change something. Noam Chomsky is always pointing out that things can change and for the better, but it always regresses back to the worst possible mean. And then we have to go through it over and over again. And in the meantime, the killing continues. The ecocide, the omnicidal heat engine known as, fossil-fueled capitalism, neoliberal capitalism, anarcho-capitalism, whatever, is just chugging along. And all we think about is buying stuff from Temu or Amazon. And it's sad because you have children, you have grandchildren. Maybe you want to have a family. Maybe you want to live in a vibrant community without your face glued to a screen 24/7 and have some semblance of a natural life where you move your body and you use your mind and your hands and you invent and create and you work together with your friends and family and community and enjoy festivals and a simple, wonderful, healthy life. But all of that's slipping away. Want to go to Canada. If it's not in the system, you can't board the plane. Your trip is off. And it's going to get harder to travel in the future. It's going to get harder to move around because there are going to be so many climate refugees and so many war refugees that it's going to put in immense stress on every nation on the planet. And Live Aid, any kind of, charity or giving at the church or these kinds of things aren't going to help. You're not going to just spend your way out of it. We're really in a horrible mess, and the more you look into it, the more tragic the whole thing is. So I'm going to just work on this project and develop some audio and some visual stuff to go with it, rewrite all the research that I was able to grab and that was spat out by Gemini Research and other tools like that. You have to go through and vet the sources. You have to look at what's being said. I want to conform it to my own thesis, and then I want to make sure that it's accurate. And I'll put that on my website and Substack and Medium and whatever. For what it's worth, I mean, it's like another product like this is going to change people's minds, is going to do anything. We really need an operational mindset. We need to start working together in our communities to do something. Every single day, hour by hour, day by day, accomplishing one little thing to turn the thing around. And if we can't muster that kind of effort, we're done and dusted. Over the next, I think by 2030, there won't be a human being on the planet that doesn't know that collapse is a thing, that overshoot is a thing, that climate change is a thing, that global heating is a thing, that ecocide is a thing, and that the people who have been leading us for so many generations are maniacs, dark tetrad lunatics. And they seem normal because they've been indoctrinated and trained in the system. They're steeped in it. It's water for a fish. They don't even notice it because they're so steeped in it. But everyone's going to see it for what it is. And these people are going to try to hang on, and they're going to have these deluded fantasies that somehow they can skate, too big to fail. It's not going to get them. They'll be in New Zealand or something. The bunker mentality. It's not going to work, people. And even Elon or your favorite oligarch that you worship because he's so cool and he's going to save you and give you cool shit. These people are going to die of cancer. They're going to die of heart disease. They're going to die of drug overdoses. They're going to get clipped. None of these fools are immortals. None of them are gods. Most of them are freaking stupid. And someday you're going to know this. And I don't know if it'll be too late by then to do anything. But you will have to do something because circumstances will dictate that you must do something. You will have to change. You will have to survive. You will be compelled to want to eat, and you'll have to figure it out. And all these discussions and debates about veganism and how to farm and soil soil health and ethical meat production and whatever the heck, it's going to go out the window because people will be eating people by that time. And it's going to be an ugly thing. Right now, it's way over there. You can watch innocent people getting killed in Tehran, in Tel Aviv, in Lebanon, in Syria. Now, the ISIS, Islamic State is alive and well in Syria now. Al-Qaeda is running the show. Israel doesn't care as long as it can fly its airplanes over there and bomb people. The United States is Israel. Israel is the United States. They're part of the same country, the same project. And the lunatic weirdos, Christian Zionists, these people, they believe nonsense. I mean, stories are interesting, but it's not real, people. It's not real. It's not physics. It's not biology. Human beings are not supreme. We're the last of our species after millions of years of evolution. And we're going to be extinct one day. The problem is, what do we do today and tomorrow and the next day and next month to have a good life, to have a better life for everybody, to be good stewards of life on earth and so on, or just to be kind? Do you think you're going to be able to be kind when this really breaks down into global world war or strategic thermonuclear war, whatever? At some point, we got dragged kicking and screaming. No, we instigated it. Americans instigated it by their complete willful ignorance and their inability to understand or learn anything about how the world works. And they're proud of it, right? Because you've got some money, or you have fun, or, I mean, normal people are normal people. God bless them. But, after a while, our neglect, our willful ignorance becomes some kind of a disease in and of itself, a pathology, a metastatic pathology. And someday we're going to have to get over it. So I talked for 18 minutes. It's a rant, tirade, whatever. I can't help it. I want to ignore it and sit under a tree and say fuck off to the world. It is what it is. Can't do anything. On another hand, I feel compelled to try to do something in my community. And every once in a while, I just have to go and write something or look into something myself just to understand more about how vital, pressing, and real these predicaments that we're facing are. I don't know if my one or two viewers give a shit or what they watch, but I know a lot of people who understand what's going on, and they're doing their best to share information and to educate, but that will never be enough. We need an operational mindset. We need to become revolutionaries, unfortunately. And, they're going to try to kill us if we do. And it happens. But I think we're going to be a more enlightened revolutionary crew than any that came before. I'm rereading Steinbeck and Hemingway and people like that, the lost generation, American literature. And those people were passionate alcoholics. They were a mess. But it's interesting to look at the world through their eyes and understand the mentality. And then fast forward to today. We have more drugs to be addicted to than ever. We have more things going on than ever before. And so the challenges are much steeper and everything's accelerating. So hold on to your hat. Bully MT.